There are a lot of tools in the shop, but I don't think there's any one tool that's more versatile than a router. I'm Dave Trull with the Trull Gallery, and I'm going to show you how to work with a wood router. The materials we're going to use are a router bit, a collet wrench, some stock to work with, and some clamps. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put our bit in our router. We're set up today using a plunge router with a 1/4 inch collet and a 1/4 inch shank bit. First thing we're going to do is slide our bit into the collet, and you want to make sure that you don't bring the bit all the way to the cutting head all the way to the collet. You want to leave it exposed about 1/8 of an inch or so, because at the very tip where the shaft meets the cutting head, sometimes they can be ground in so they're a bit undersized, and at that point the collet can't lock down on the shaft, and that would allow the bit to walk its way out, make a deeper cut than you want, and it's actually a safety hazard. So we'll go ahead and leave the shaft out about 1/8 of an inch and go ahead and tighten it down. At that point you can go ahead and get your stock and clamp it to your workbench, plug in your router, and grab your safety gear. What I'm going to show you here on the decorative edge applies to all the other things you can do with a router as well. We'll make our end grain cut, make a nice smooth pass, turn the corner, and make our long grain pass. Once that's done, you can continue end grain, long grain, so you've got the full 4 sides. Some people will do both their end grains at once and then come back and do the long grain. I find if you work your way around the piece, it's just as easy. And another thing you want to keep in mind is which direction you're cutting with. You want to work with the direction of the cut. So when you're working with a router, you're actually going to be moving counterclockwise. If you were to work your router in a clockwise fashion, you'd be doing what's called a climbing cut. And it's very easy when you're working a climbing cut for the router to grab and want to take off and pull out of your hands. You want to avoid that. It's a very dangerous cut. There are times when you can do it to avoid tear-outs, but you have to know that that's a possibility and know that you've got a good hold on your router and you're making light cuts so you can have more control. We're going to make our first cut, a fairly light cut, just to remove a bulk of the stock. We're going to make a bit adjustment, lower our bit down so we get more of the profile that we're looking for, and give us that nice clean edge detail. Once that's done, unplug your router, and it's time to move on to the next step in your furniture making. So that's how to use a wood router. I'm Dave Trull with the Trull Gallery, the fine art of furniture making.